Hello and welcome. Have you been staring at your UK tax account just getting more and more confused by that one frustrating message? Well, today we're going to get right to the bottom of it. Why hasn't your tax been calculated yet?
And a big thanks to the experts at Pro Tax Accountant for arranging this whole discussion. They're helping us bring some much-needed clarity to this very common problem. So, does this screen look a little too familiar? You log into your HMRC account, all ready to see what's what, and bam, you're hit with that super vague message, your tax has not been calculated yet. You're left wondering, what on earth does that even mean? And what am I supposed to do about it?
Okay, first things first, let's get one thing straight right away. If you're seeing this message, you are definitely not alone. Seriously, this is an incredibly common headache for taxpayers all over the UK. It's usually just a sign that the system, or maybe something specific in your file, needs a bit more time to get sorted. The good news? It's almost always fixable.
So to really get to the bottom of this, we need to look at it from two different angles. First, there are the big, system-wide issues that are affecting pretty much everyone. And then there are the personal factors, things tied directly to your individual tax situation.
Now, you might think everyone's tax gets calculated right on April 6th, but that's not really how it works. HMRC has this official processing window for PAYE that actually runs from June all the way through to November. So if you're checking early on in that period, it might just be that you're in the queue.
But, that standard timeline doesn't tell the whole story. Not by a long shot. Recent reports, like this one from The Guardian, have highlighted some major delays, with some folks waiting over 4 months for their refunds. That tells us there's a bit more going on behind the scenes.
And here's why. Right now, HMRC is dealing with what you could call a perfect storm. We're talking huge backlogs from a high volume of claims, staff shortages, and even some industrial action. And hey, if you've tried calling them lately, you'll know that average wait times have just ballooned to over 23 minutes. It's tough out there.
Okay, so those are the big system-wide pressures. But let's bring it a little closer to home. What if the delay is actually about you? Could something in your personal tax situation be the real reason for the holdup?
The emergency tax code. This is a very common culprit. It usually pops up if you start a new job and HMRC doesn't have all your correct details yet. What it often means is you've actually overpaid tax, and your calculation will be on hold until they get the right info to figure out your refund.
And sometimes, honestly, the delay is just down to the sheer complexity of the UK tax system. I mean, just look at this. For the 2025/26 tax year, Scotland has 6 different tax bands, while the rest of the UK has 3. So if your work or your life crosses that border, it's only natural that HMRC needs a little extra time to apply all the correct rates.
All right, that's enough about the why. Let's switch gears and talk about what you can actually do right now to take back a bit of control of the situation.
Here are 3 simple but really powerful checks you can do. First, log back into your personal tax account. HMRC might have left a message there telling you exactly what they need. Second, grab your P60 and check it against your final payslip. Are there any errors? And third, take a good look at your tax code. If it's an emergency one or just looks plain wrong, that is your cue to get in touch with HMRC.
And why does checking that tax code matter so much? We'll get this. In 2025, about 1.2 million people overpaid tax by an average of £680. And a lot of the time, it was because of a simple code error. That one little check could put a pretty significant amount of money right back in your pocket.
And listen, this isn't just theory. Here's a real-world example. A client in Birmingham followed these exact steps, checked his statements, and he realized a bonus had been taxed incorrectly at a higher rate. That one check was all it took to spot a £500 overpayment and get the ball rolling on his refund.
So that 3-step check can solve a lot of the common issues. But let's be real, tax situations can get complicated, and it's really important to know when it's time to call in an expert. So if any of these sound like you should really consider getting some professional advice. Things like filing for self-assessment, juggling multiple income streams, navigating IR35 as a contractor, or declaring that high-income child benefit charge, these are all areas where a tiny mistake can be pretty costly. An expert can save you time, stress, and of course, money. And that's exactly where professional advice becomes absolutely invaluable. It can turn what feels like a complex, stressful problem into a clear, simple solution. So, here's the key takeaway. Don't just sit there and worry. That unresolved message on your tax account is often a puzzle you can solve yourself with just a few simple checks. But if you've done those checks and you're still stuck, or if your situation is just more complicated, then reach out to the team at Pro Tax Account. Their details are on screen right now. I really hope this has given you a clear path forward.